Hey there guys, I'm here with self-published author Tom Clarke. I'm going to ask him about his books. So Tom, why don't you tell us about some of your works?
Well, I got the Basement series, it's a 3-book series. Got the Barrier series, which is 2 books. I guess if 2 books makes a series. And then 3 standalone stories, Broken Creek, Razor 1-7, and Fence Line.
Alright, why don't you go ahead and tell us about one of them?
Well, if I had to pick one of them to talk about, I'd probably talk about The Basement. It's the first book that I wrote. It was inspired by an experience I had while working as a police officer up in Alaska. So there's an element of truth to it, as well as a whole bunch of really fun fiction.
Alright. So I've recently reviewed Razor 1-7, one of your works on my channel. Why don't you go and tell us a little more about that one?
So Razor 1-7, it's the only book that I have right now. It's straight science fiction. There's no werewolves or vampires or monsters or anything like that in it. It's military time travel. The premise of the book is that the special operations groups had developed a time travel capability to jump teams back a couple hours at a time in order to interdict high-value targets and prevent, terrorist strikes and things like that. During the initial testing phase, where they made it operational for the first time, testing it at Fort Benning in Georgia, they had some problems, and instead of jumping back a couple hours, they actually jumped back a whole stack of years and ended up way in the past. And they ended up interacting with the lost colony of Roanoke. And so that's the premise of the story is, the special operations team and how they interact with colonists and the Spanish military forces and the indigenous forces of the time.
All right. So which one would you recommend for first-time readers? Out of all of your books, which one would you recommend for first-time readers?
Well, it really depends on what you're into. If you're into, like, say, demons, I would recommend The Basement. If you're into the world type stuff, start with the Barrier series. If you like westerns, Broken Creek.
All right.
Best thing you could probably do is just jump online and buy them all.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, sir.
My pleasure.